Hey YouTube, this is Detroit Borg, and in front of you is the Pioneer VSX 1020K AV receiver. Now, this is their high mid-range AV receiver. This is just below their Elite series. There is a model above this called the VSX 1120, but this does everything I needed to do and more. And if you look at some of the labels on the box, you'll see it's made for iPod and works with iPhone. And up here you can see that it is Sirius XM ready. Now, of course, there are a lot of specs on an AV receiver. There's a lot to go through. So I'm going to leave a link in my description so you can look at it yourself. So let me go ahead and crack this open. So we have the remote controller. Looks like we have a bag of goodies. I'm going to go through these a little later, but let me get the receiver itself out of here just because it's so big. Styrofoam off, and there it is. It's actually not as deep as my old one. That's great, so I have more room in my entertainment cabinet. Alright, let's get this up to my studio so we can take a closer look at it. Alright, here we are with the receiver on my desk, and we can take a look at all of its features. Of course, we have the Pioneer logo up here with the standby on button, the input selector, the headphone jack. We also have some physical controls: auto, ALC, direct, stereo, standard, advanced surround, iPod, iPhone direct control. We also have a little door here that says push to open. And basically this pops out. I'm not really thrilled by this, but there you go. Now this is the MCA-CC setup mic. Basically, Pioneer includes a microphone that you can set to the listening point of your room, and it will automatically calibrate your speaker system for the optimal listening experience for wherever you are in that room. We have the iPod and iPhone controls, either USB or auxiliary it looks like. We also have a front HDMI connector. Now up here we have the display. It's just an LED display. Very traditional. A lot of this can be controlled on screen, and I will show you that later. We have some of the logos here: phase control, MCA-CC Advanced. SR is basically Pioneer's proprietary control system. So if you connect them with a cable, one device is able to control the other, and they're basically able to communicate with each other. So we have some other buttons here. These are, looks like toggle down buttons. If you press down on them, they work. Speakers, I'm not sure what these do yet, but speakers, control, multi-zone, on, off, advanced, MCA-CC, PQLS, HDMI, iPod, iPhone, band, tuner edit, enter. We also have some directional controls up here for tune, preset, etc. On this side you'll see HDMI 3D. Basically this supports 1080p upscaling and is compatible with the HDMI standards that support 3D. We also have iPod, iPhone digital playback via USB, and we have a GUI, basically a on-screen graphical user interface. Now on the top, of course, you see the ventilation. Of course, AV receivers are amped, so they do get quite warm. You can see some of the branding right here. So again, HDMI, Sirius Ready, DTS True Surround, DTS HD Master Audio, Dolby True HD Pro Logic, and we have, again, plays Windows media files. Of course, the reason you buy an AV receiver is to connect your speakers and audio-visual devices. And this is where all the business is. This is all the connectors, and this is what you want to look at when you're buying an AV receiver. You want to know if everything you have will plug into it. And I bought this largely because I need more HDMI connectors, and thankfully this one has tons of them. You can see a Blu-ray disc in, so this is an HDMI port dedicated to Blu-ray. And then we have 4 assignable HDMI inputs, so you have HDMI 1, 2, 3, and 4, and you have the out. And here we have an Ethernet connector. This is my first AV receiver with internet connectivity. So this will be very interesting, and basically this allows you to use an iPhone, an iPod, or an iPad to control your AV receiver. It does a few other things, but that's primarily what I'll be using it for. So I'm really looking forward to it. I'm going to have a demo of this. Of course, it's not wireless, so you're going to have to wire this up, and I have a solution which will be coming down in a future unboxing, and I'll show you that. Here we have 2 assignable coaxial digital connectors. In this case, it looks like it's assigned it to DVD and CD, but you don't have to do it that way. That's just recommended. Here we have 2 opticals, so we have TV satellite and DVR or Blu-ray disc. And here we have Pioneer's proprietary Bluetooth connector. So you can buy a Bluetooth adapter that essentially allows you to connect wirelessly to your AV receiver. So it uses the A2DP protocol, so it should work with iPhone and iPod, but it's basically A2DP or Bluetooth stereo. I'm not going to purchase that because I'm going to be using AirPlay since I have my Apple TV connected to this. Here we have a Sirius connector. Here we have the antenna connector, so AM and FM. Up here is the power supply, so the power supply is back here, and of course you see the cable. You can see it was manufactured September 2010. There's my serial number, made in China. We have the speaker connectors, so these do accept the banana clips, but I don't have those on my speaker wires. So we have the front left, center, surround back, so that's for the 7-channel setup. And here we have some other speaker connectors. I'm actually not sure what these are used for, but it says front height wide B. So this must be for some other speaker setup. I'll figure that out. It says see instruction manual for selectable setting. Alright, so let's move on to the other connectors. So below the HDMI connectors are component, and there are 2 assignable component connectors and 1 out. And of course we have a whole series of composite connectors. These I will not be using, but again they're all assigned. So DVR, BDR if you want to use this instead of the HDMI, DVD in, TV SAT in, video in, CD or tape, CDR or tape out and in. None of this I'll be using. And of course we have a subwoofer out. Down here we have some of the other connectors, control in or out. This is actually related to that SR label you saw on the front panel. Again, this allows you to connect other Pioneer devices to this one, so you have in or out. You use a proprietary cable. And we have IR in or out. So if you want to locate an IR sensor in a different location and want to hide the receiver somewhere, you can run an IR sensor somewhere else. Now let's just take a look at the remote controller. This is a glow-in-dark remote controller, by the way, so all these light buttons will glow in the dark. It's not backlit. I won't actually be using this controller. I'll be using a Harmony 1. So you see all of the selections for the devices you want to use, multi-room operation, source setup, input select, zone 2. But we have a control D-pad. You have these secondary controls highlighted in blue. And down here we have some of the most used controls, so play, pause, stop, skip ahead, etc. The number keypad. Now it's not a very attractive remote. It's very functional. Let's see in the battery compartment, see how many batteries it takes. So it looks like it takes 2 AAA batteries. Alright, let's see what's in the goodie bag. We got some batteries for the remote. We have a very large manual. This is very typical of AV receivers. Looks like a guide for preventing shorts on speaker cords. And here we have the MCACC microphone. Essentially you connect this to the front of the receiver, place this to your optimal listening position, and the receiver will automatically balance the speakers. It's a pretty neat setup. I love this thing. And here we have the iPod and iPhone connector. Basically this is a 30-pin connector that connects directly to your iDevice. And here's the USB connector, and I guess this is a video connector, so it's a combination connector. This connects to the iDevice. This splits it into these 2 components. So I'll look forward to testing this out to see how that works. And here we have the FM wire. Basically you just connect this to the back of the receiver and lay it around just to get good reception. It's not very elegant, but it works. And this is the AM loop antenna. Alright guys, because it's going to take me a long time to disassemble my home theater to install this one, I'm going to go ahead and upload this video so you guys can take a look at it. And of course I will have a demo, especially of that iPhone app, in a future video. So once again guys, this is Detroit Borg. Thanks for watching. This is the VSX 1020K audio visual. Wow.